Hey, this is JC here at JC's Comics and More, your pop culture superstore, 6725 West Central Avenue. That's Toledo, Ohio, 43617-419-531-6097. JC's Comics and More at hotmail.com. Find the Facebook link in the description below, and I'm back to posting stuff on Instagram, and that would be JC's Comics and More. In fact, I'm going to be taking pictures of some of these and posting them on the Instagram page as well. I'm going to be processing these comics later today. And if you want to contact me on Instagram for the prices, you can certainly do that. But here we have the Marvel Milestone Edition reprint of Amazing Spider-Man 1. We've got number 37, number 41, first appearance of the Rhino. 47, Kraven the Hunter is back. Got 49 with the Blackie the New Vulture. This bottom corner was hanging by a thread, and as I was putting it, it just came off. So this little piece right here is that corner. So I'll put that in the bag. 52, first appearance of Joe Robinson. Got a couple of number 54s here, where Doc Ock was Aunt May's boarder. Peter tried to warn her, but Aunt May was very naive. See, that's a subscription copy. And looks like somebody went through this box. I had people going through this box looking, and it looks like somebody obviously got something out of order, because the 23 does not come after 54. So we got 23. That I believe is the second appearance of the Green Goblin, and you can tell that is a subscription copy as well. So once I get that in process, that'll go back into its proper order. Another subscription copy with Amazing Spider-Man 55, the classic cover with Spidey in his Doc Ock's eyelid and his lenses. We got 56. Doc Ock Spidey joins Doc Ock. He had amnesia, and Doc, of course, took advantage of that we were partners. 57, Kazar and Zabu. It's after the amnesia is gone, Kazar comes after him. Got 58, another appearance of a Spider Slayer with J. Jonah Jameson, of course, trying to stop the wall crawler. Issue 59 of Amazing Spider-Man. This is the first Mary Jane cover, and whether you like it or not, they jiggle, because women, they jiggle. You cannot deny that fact. John Romita, what a classic cover there. 60 with the Kingpin, Oh Bitter Victory. It was nice seeing the Kingpin. They really, Stan and John really took to the Kingpin, and he appeared quite often. Established him as one of Spidey's top villains. But you can see there's multiple copies of number 60. 63, you've got the original Vulture back going after Blackie, who took his wings and kind of tricked him, and he's out for vengeance. And Blackie got his ass handed to him. The original Vulture's back, and he's letting Spidey know that. This is much better than how he's been portrayed recently in the comics. Escape Impossible, Spidey's in a prison, and very interesting story. Again, the stories like this one here, Crisis on Campus, Marvel did they did tackle some of the issues at the time, but they tackled it, I want to say, in the right way. And once again, the Kingpin's back. There's another issue. The guy who bought this probably was a big Kingpin fan. Spider-Man Wanted. This has the tablet that the Kingpin was trying to get, and Silvermane is going to try to get as well. Good issue 71 there with Quicksilver. I've got a couple of number 72s, including that one there, which is already priced up. I had a guy come in the other day, and I priced it up for him. So we got that 72. Got a slightly better copy of 72. Second appearance of the Shocker. I always liked the Shocker. Always thought he was a badass villain. And writers these days, they don't know how to write him. Here we've got the first appearance of Mountain Marco, that muscle for the mob and gave Spidey some problems. We got Silvermane, the secret of the Petrified tablet. Remember reading this as a kid. Pretty damn amazing. Death Without Warning, again, deals with the tablet. And also you've got the Lizard is back, Kurt Connors. Remember having this as a kid. This was one of my favorites because it had the Lizard, which Lizard's one of my favorite characters, had the torch. Amazing. And John Buscema artwork on the inside. This the second appearance of the Prowler. We've got the Chameleon. He's back after such a long time. I think this was his first appearance back since issue 1. We're going to pause and I'm going to grab the next stack. Issue 81, the first appearance of the Kangaroo. Villain from Down Under. Again, I enjoyed it as a kid. Return of Electro. Electro is always a favorite of mine as well. Spidey's Rogues, I mean, you can talk about Batman's Rogues Gallery, and the Spidey's is right up there, if not better. I say they are better than Batman. Prove me wrong. That he had some of the best, and has some of the best villains ever. Coming to the Schemer, new supervillain, and we're going to see that this has a interesting villain back. That's right, the Kingpin is back. And the Schemer ended up being his son, Richard. Trying to get his father's love, daddy issues. This is daddy issues. Got his wife, Vanessa, there. That's her first cover appearance. This is the Black Widow. This is the first appearance of her cat suit that John Romita Jr., I'm sure, is very influenced by Julie Newmar's Catwoman catsuit. How could you not be influenced by that? But you get a couple copies of that. And it's interesting to see how the covers were cut, too. As you can see, the one has like that much more cover at the top. And this has like that much more cover at the bottom. So, always interesting when you see stuff like that. 87, Spidey's has the flu and he's delirious. Tells everybody that he's Spider-Man. The return of Doc Ock, at least his arms. That was priced up for somebody already. The return of Doc Ock. Ock's probably hard to say who my favorite villain is. You know, Doc Ock, Lizard, Mysterio, Electro, they're all right up there. And Venom's up there too, and so is Carnage, but man, these classic villains. A couple of 89s. In fact, several 89s. Number 90, the death of Captain Stacy. That's where they sort of established, I guess, the theme that characters can die. That was pretty shocking. 91, the aftermath of Captain Stacy's death. Iceman comes after him because he thinks Spidey's a killer as well. Everybody believes what the media tells them. Nobody does their homework. Again, the return of the Prowler, and once again, that he's after Spidey because he's a killer. I remember getting this issue here, number 94, when I was a kid. This was such a great issue. Because they had this Beetle, and also mainly because it had Spidey's origin. This is where I first became aware of Spidey's origin. I probably saw it on the Spider-Man cartoon series, the Ralph Bakshi series from the late 60s, but this was the first time in print. He goes to London to try to track down Gwen because Gwen left and he realized once he was in action as Spider-Man, he could not see Gwen because she would know that he was the wall crawler. And since she blamed him for her dad's death, that it was not good. But this also, again, timely stuff. There was a bunch of hijackings on planes. So it talked about that issue. Got several copies of 96. This was the first of the 3-issue drug issues, which did not have the Comics Code of Authority. and had those issues as well as a kid. And my parents didn't really, I don't think they really noticed that the comics code was on there. But my parents read my comics to make sure it was appropriate for me. So we got several number 96s. Again, that one is priced. We've got 97, but unfortunately I do not have any 98s. We do have 99s, a couple of 99s. That's another prison issue. Again, not afraid to tackle some of those issues. And Gwen was back in this issue too. Actually, Gwen was back at I want to say at the end of 98. Gwen was back. We've got 102. This is the origin of Morbius. 103 with Kazar and Gwen. Great Gil Kane artwork. This was supposed to be a double-sized issue. The issue 105, the Spider Slayer's back. And Harry's going through problems because he had, with the drugs that he was taking, he was a pillhead. Issue 107 with the Spider Slayer. This issue here is, I have a lot of regrets with this issue. I had a chance when I was in the Navy, the comic shop I was going to in Virginia Beach, to buy the entire original art, including the cover of that. In the comments below, what do you think? This was back in 1984. What do you think? And I regret not buying this. It's going to be one of my biggest regrets. What do you think that they were charging for the entire, all the original pages plus the cover? In the comments below. Come on, I want you guys to put comments, put some guesses in there. I'll try to, in a video or two, let you know, or I'll comment and I'll pin it. But I want you guys to guess. What do you think that they were charging? And you know what they're charging, what the original art goes for now. What do you think that was going for back then? We got to pause and I'm grabbing the next stack of comments. Issue 108. 108, 109 dealt with Flash Thompson. That he was, Flash was, went and served in the Vietnam War. And again, like I said, Marvel was not afraid to tackle some of those issues. You didn't see anyone in DC. Jimmy Olsen didn't enlist and go to the Vietnam War. So you had that's what made Marvel better than DC. A couple of those copies. There it is, Doctor Strange guest stars, and the guest stars would pop in every once in a while. We've got 110, The Birth of the Gibbon, another quirky character, maybe not their best, and I want to say this was Jerry Conway's first issue writing also, if I remember correctly. And I think he started writing Spidey at like 18. Craven is back. There, issue 112. Spidey's had enough of people fighting, and he trying to stop and not making a not doing any good. And look who's back, Octavius. Again, God, just great stuff. First appearance of I want to say that was the first appearance of Hammerhead also, and then you got the first cover appearance of Hammerhead. Great villain. Aunt May, at the time that she was working for Doc Ock at one of his estates, and protected him and took a couple of shots at Spidey. 116, 117. Got 123. I got this issue. I missed 121, 122. I remember getting 123. And when I bought that issue, discovered that Norman Osborn is dead. Gwen Stacy was dead. I was like 10 at the time, 11 at the time. I was like, holy crap. My world was like thrown upside down. But who is this? Man, who is this badass looking black dude, man? He's punching Spidey. That was my first introduction to Luke Cage. And he was a cool ass dude. Got 126. The Kangaroo is back. Ross Andrew is doing the art at this time. Got 131. Aunt May was going to marry Doc Ock. 137. Harry is the Goblin. Mindworm, again, Some of the villains were great. Some are, not every, don't hit every ball out of the park. But in this issue here, Spidey was homeless, so he was going to room with Flash Thompson for a while on Far Rockaway in New York. We're going to pause real quick. Okay, 141, they brought Mysterio, he was back, and a bunch of his other villains came back as well. Or did they? 43, the Cyclone. Again, I didn't think he was that bad. Spidey was over in France. And when he got back from France, unfortunately, I don't have the issues here, but discovered the clone of Gwen Stacy. Again, that as a kid, that was like, what? Gwen Stacy's a lot. What? 153. I think Len Wein. I think this was one of his first ones. It's a kind of an off, not your usual Spidey story, but that's how Spidey was written back then. The writers these days, they don't know how to write stories like that. Sandman is back. Sandman hadn't appeared in Spider-Man in quite a while. Sal Buscema did this issue to give Ross Andrew time that he was working on the Superman vs. the Amazing Spider-Man Treasury Edition at that time. 158, Doc Ock is back again, and you got the ghost of Hammerhead, because Hammerhead was dead. And then he was able to come back to life. And again, Len Wein writing these issues, classics. Been a while since the Kingpin had come back, but he brought him back. This is a rare Dave Cockrum cover, inked by John Romita. The Kingpin again had to sap Spidey's life force to save his son Richard. Stagon, the Dinosaur Man, was back too. Nice seeing him back. It's been a while since Marvel team up with Kazar and the Black Panther since we'd seen him. And then, of course, if Stagon's back, can the Lizard be far behind? Ross Andrew drew killer dinosaurs, man. Will-O-the-Wisp. And then you get to do Spider Slayer. J. Jonah Jameson thought he had the goods on Spidey. And all I can say is, what do you see how he gets out of this one? Dr. Faustus, the Captain America villain, came over to make his life a little hell. This was a two-parter that started in Nova number 12, I believe it was, and continued in Spidey. And Nova, for me, it was cool because Nova is one of my favorite characters too. So I was psyched. Two of my favorite heroes crossing over. Hell yeah. The Rocket Racer, they need to do more again with him. That's, again, I think Spidey has some cool villains. Like the Molten Man, they brought him back. It's been a while since we've seen him. I think issue, was it 130, was it 130, 32 and 33? I think that's when he last appeared. Punisher. Got his start in Spidey, would pop in from time to time. And so he would make an appearance every once in a while. It was always cool seeing the Punisher in there. That was a two-parter. And then we've got somebody, and just by that shadow, the Green Goblin. So Harry's back as the Green Goblin? Really, he must be. Look, it's the Green Goblin. Harry's back. Man, Harry's the Goblin again. You got Ross Andrew, once again, doing the Goblin. And then this issue here, well, two goblins. I'm not going to tell you what happens. 187. This had a Keith Pollard cover, which was great. Had Electro, but the really exciting thing is who illustrated this issue. And Marv Wolfman was writing it this time. It was illustrated by Jim Starlin. We jump ahead to 23. This is, I think Roger Stern was just getting ready to start writing, but you had John Romita Jr. doing the art on this time at this point. I think with Dan, maybe not Dan Green quite yet. The Will-O-the-Wisp is back. Plus, this does have the Marvel Collector's Guide, Comics Guide to Collecting Comics. Classic Vulture cover right there. 242, 243, Mary Jane's back. We jumped to 258 with Ron Friends. and Brent Breeding with Tom DeFalco writing. This kind of setting out for the whole Venom symbiote thing. 263. We got 264. 267. They kind of bounced around a little bit. Wasn't sure what they're doing with Spidey. Another 267. I'm going to pause and we're going to grab the last batch. This was a Secret Wars tie-in. And then the interesting thing with this, the John Byrne cover, if you had the Web of Spider-Man issue, it was a connecting cover on that there. Again, Ron Friends' run was pretty amazing. We've got 280, 282, we've got 283, the challenge for Spidey taking on Silvermane and Titania. 288, this was part of a 5-part gang war storyline. 289, trying to tell you who the Hobgoblin was. I didn't buy this story for a second. Jim Owsley wrote it. Jim Owsley is also, that was his pen name, and then he went to his real name, Christopher Priest. Part of Kraven's Last Hunt. This is part 2. We jumped to 348 with Eric Larson. Eric Larson, after Todd McFarlane, brought his own style and was pretty damn cool because you saw a lot of Ditko in it. 249, and then you jumped to 368. Yeah, not 349, not 249, 368. Jumped with Mark Bagley. Mark Bagley is one of my favorite amazing artists. 281, 381, 382, 383, 384, a couple of 384s, 385. Vulture sucked some of Spidey's life energies and made him younger. 387, 389 with the Chameleon. These are written by David Michelinie also. 391, 392, sort of a homage after John Romita's cover, or 380, 393, 395, 401, 402, 403 with Carnage. Then we jump to 539. We've got Amazing Spider-Man Annual 5 with his parents. These are some reprints in issue Annual 7. You see, we got several of those, and then we've got King Size Annual 8, which reprinted the Shocker's first appearances. That's how I became aware of Spidey. And I think the Kingpin's first appearance in here. If you do like these videos, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 2,000. Hit the bell for notification. Like, comment, and share. Hope you enjoyed this video, and be sure to check out the Instagram pictures once I get those up. Thanks again.